Hey fans, this is the preview for UCLA versus San Diego State. A few things, a few thoughts here. We can say that we got to work on our offensive line. Still, they're very inexperienced as we knew from last year. They can only get better, but can the offense be solid enough? That's the big question. Kevin Prince can't do it alone. We know that from what I've heard, he's been looking solid out there. I mean, he can't be worse than Kevin Kraft throwing a fat interception ratio, but we're going to need that offensive line to protect him. Can uh, can you get enough protection and time to be able to throw the ball? Also, the running game. We were ranked pretty dead last against almost dead last in the running game. And we have some other running backs now that Khalil Bell graduated. So we have Derek Holman, who's a sophomore. We saw him last year. Then we have Jonathan Franklin. Uh, he's a redshirt freshman. From what I've heard, he's been making a lot of moves. He's been standing out well in spring. And then we have Christian Ramirez, who is a projected starter. I only saw Ramirez in garbage time when he would play against Stanford. I remember in 2007 he played garbage time. But can those guys on offense be solid? That's a big question there. On the offensive line, a big guy we picked up is Colorado transfer Kai Maivia. We'll get to see him at center instead of Jake Dean. There's a bunch of names probably familiar like Jeff Baca and a lot of the other guards and tackles, but I don't want to go down the list of names. The big thing is Micah Kia is out for the season. We could be seeing a true freshman starting in his position, whether it's Xavier Suafilo or it could be Stanley Hosiak. So, because Micah Key is out, we'll see what happens there. The offense could only get better. There's no way we could get worse than what we were last year. So, we got loads of wide receivers, and we're one of the more talented teams at the tight end position. We got Taylor Embry, we got Ryan Moya, we got Logan Paulson, solid tight ends right there, and now we have also a true freshman in Morrell Presley, who is a stolen USC recruit. He was able to not transfer, but he was able to change his mind during recruiting season. And then at wide receiver, we got loads of weapons should be solid. Dominic Johnson may have transferred, but we do have Terrence Austin still, who's also our kick returner. I hope he doesn't make the mistakes he did his sophomore year. Then we also still have some other solid receiving, whether it could be Nelson Rosario, could it be, and then there's a true freshman, Randall Carroll. This guy is, what I guess you call him a track star, because he can run fast, but he's not Darius Hayward Bay. He can catch too. Another stolen, we took him from USC, another guy we took out of recruiting days. So it's the offense that's a big question against San Diego State. We can't take San Diego State lightly at all because they did put up a fight on the road against Notre Dame in South Bend. You may say Notre Dame sucks, but they had a better record than us last year. San Diego State can only go up because they had a pretty bad year. The Mountain West has had our number, the Pac-10's number, so let's not take that into consideration. But we should win this game, but we can't take anything for granted, so shouldn't be too bad. The problem, the defense is solid for the most part, whether it's Alteron Berbener, whether it's Raheem Moore, whether it's Tony Dye, could be. There's a lot of those freshmen or redshirt freshmen also taking the defensive backs or playing in the secondary. Some of those new high school guys are taking effect on defense. At linebacker, we still got Reggie Carter, should be a solid leader, and he'll be with Kyle Bosworth, I believe. Corey Bosworth is twin on the defensive line. And also Brian Price, defensive tackle. Shouldn't be a problem there. We know he is probably one of the best players on our team for the most part. So, special teams, Kai Forbath will be solid at kicker. A punter, a little bit of questions with Jeff Locke. We don't really know too much about him because our last guy, Perez, graduated, so we know our kicker is solid. Can we beat San Diego State? It shouldn't be a problem, but you never know. We better not do any choking. We do. We cannot get caught looking forward to the game against Tennessee in week 2. Now on to San Jose State and USC. Just a brief talk about them. They got to go down to the LA Memorial Coliseum. My other team or the school, this building I'm in, San Jose State. They they got to go down there. And I know people going to that game. I can't make it, but their defense should not be too much of a problem. We may have lost Jerron Gilbert, who was the star defensive lineman. He's the one who jumped out of the pool on ESPN that you saw, but we still have a decent defensive linebackers and a decent defensive line. Whether it's Duke Iheanacho at linebacker or Carl Iheanacho defensive line. Secondary, we lost Owens and Coy Francis to their seniors. They were solid, but they got drafted in the NFL, so congrats to them. Secondary will have just a few questions. But the offense is the biggest factor. We run a spread, and I don't think we have the personnel meant for the spread. Definitely, it looked pretty ugly during the season when I'd watched them. Offensive line, that's the biggest question. Theoretically, they could only get better because everyone's returning at the offensive line position. And the running game was so bad last year, I mean, it's not even the running back's fault. There's just no holes. There was no time for the quarterback to throw. Cal transfer Kyle Reed is now a senior. What can he do in his last year in college football? Can he at least turn this team around? Still have solid wide receivers. Kevin Jurovic is, I believe he's still on the team. Also, we got a running back. We're loaded. We have Lawrence Muldrow, top junior college recruit running back. We also have Patrick Perry, who is injured for the last 2 years, and the NCAA gave him a 6th year of eligibility. And also Brandon Rutley's the 3rd guy. So, can the offensive line come through? Can the defense keep the game close? I'm not going to say this is a win, but it should be a loss on paper. It's obviously against USC and you're at the Coliseum. But the defense, they need to keep the game close. Matt Barkley may be starting, maybe a true freshman, but that guy is, from what I heard, he could be the next chosen one, could be a Heisman candidate next year. So we'll see in that position. I know recently one of their wide receivers is out for the game, but they're still loaded on offense because they got the offensive line back. They got the 3-headed monster in McKnight, Stephon Johnson, and C.J. Gable. And then they still have other wide receivers like Damian Williams. Their defense is all new except Taylor Mays and a couple of other guys, but it still should not be a worry for USC fans. It should be a blowout. Can the defense keep it close? That's the big question. I'm out, so I'll do a post-game regarding UCLA and San Diego State. Should win there, and San Jose should get killed, but we'll see what happens. See you guys later.